Welcome to AnimeStar Recaps. Do not forget to subscribe and like the video for more. To protect Giabrand from a demon king, Ristardt, a novice goddess of healing, must conjure a hero. She chooses the extraordinarily powerful Japanese hero Seiya Ryuguin. While he seems perfect for the circumstance when she first summons him, she quickly discovers that she neglected to look up Seiya's characteristics beforehand, which notes that he is impossibly cautious. Ristardt chooses to let Seiya exercise alone after consulting fellow goddess Ariadoa for guidance. After a week, he succeeds in reaching level 15 using only fundamental exercises. The first creature they see outside of town is a simple slime, which Seiya kills, but he goes overboard and sets the entire area ablaze with explosives just in case some of the fragments are still alive. Chaos Machina, a level 66 demon and one of the 4 heavenly kings, suddenly approaches them. She says that Seiya was to be killed before he could become a threat, therefore she was sent out to survey the region. Chaos Machina makes the decision to attack Adona after Ristardt, and Seiya escaped to the Divine Realm. In the Divine Realm, Seiya discovers that time flows differently. 2 days later, Ristardt gets a message from Chaos Machina threatening to execute one inhabitant every 10 minutes if they don't come back. 10 minutes on Giabrand are equivalent to about 16 hours in the Divine Realm, thus Seiya is unconcerned. When Ristardt is prepared at last, she discovers he has attained level 21, which surprises her. When Chaos Machina discovers that Seiya's stats are all greater than hers when they are back in Giabrand, she changes into her actual form. When Seiya triumphs, it is discovered that he had been concealing his true level, which was level 37 the entire time by utilizing the fake-out talent. Seiya, on the other hand, envelops Chaos Machina's burned remains in explosions out of anxiety that she could reanimate. As a result, Adona is likewise ruined, and the city's once grateful mayor now pleadingly implores them to leave. Ristardt is unsure of how the situation with Seiya will end out when they return to the Divine Realm. Seiya observes that the rate of his level advancement has slowed down. When Ariadoa advises him to practice with a deity, Ristardt brings Seiya to Cerseus, the divine blade god. Ristardt observes Cerseus's depression and weight loss as the days pass. She discovers Cerseus hidden on the 4th day of training since Seiya has already exceeded him, but won't let him take a vacation. Cerseus is now so afraid that he attempts to throw his sword into the water when Seiya finally catches him, but Seiya merely takes him away. Ishtar reveals to Ristardt that the Demon Lord intends to send the demon Deathmagla and an army of zombies to the village of Samel, where there are 2 warriors that Ishtar has predicted will be their friends. Seiya is brought to Samel by Ristardt, where they encounter 2 Dragonkin ancestors, Mash and Ilulu, at a chapel. Father Marth is defeated by Seiya without even drawing his sword after learning that he is an undead in disguise. The body is then completely destroyed by explosives. He also ruins the church in the process. He then informs Mash and Ilulu straight out that he doesn't need them. Mash and Ilulu are given an explanation of Seiya's lack of need for them by him outside the demolished church. They are suddenly challenged by some knights who demand assistance. Seiya consents provided that he is compensated. Seiya uses the meteor strike skill twice to eliminate the zombie army. Ilulu informs Ristardt and Samel that she hasn't seen Mash in 2 days. Ristardt finds Seiya's chamber and discovers that Seiya created a powerful sword using the synthesis talent. Deathmagla discloses to them that he abducted and tortured Mash using a 2-way viewing glass. Seiya utilizes the Dimension Blade talent to sever Deathmagla's hand via the mirror just as he is about to execute him. They reach Deathmagla's actual location after learning it. Deathmagla summons Dark Furus throughout the conflict. Deathmagla confidently mocks Seiya by disclosing Dark Furus's vulnerabilities. Seiya reveals that he designed several magic bracelets that let him employ magical abilities with which he hasn't had any training. Dark Furus is vanquished, and he then turns his attention to a helpless Deathmagla. Seiya informs Mash and Ilulu and Samel that they would be carrying his luggage. Then Mash offers to drive Seiya to the Dragon's Den, but Seiya insists on going to the Divine Realm first. There, Ilulu is trained by Ristardt with Hestiaka, the goddess of fire, while Mash is trained by Seiya with Cerseus, the goddess of destruction. Valkyrie then accidentally runs into Ristardt. Valkyrie is sent to train him by Seiya, who has seen her strength. He is rudely confronted by Valkyrie until Ariadoa stops her. She then makes arrangements for him to train with the goddess of war Adenella. MASH has progressed after 3 days of training, whereas Alulu's training has mostly failed because of her lack of an aptitude for flame magic. Adenella approaches Seiya as the group is ready to depart and begs if she may accompany him. Seiya politely declines her invitation. Finally, they reach the dragon village, where Lagos welcomes them and leads them to see Levi, the great mother of dragons. Levi tells the group, in order to make Exasion, which can only be used to kill the demon lord, a female dragonkin with a human appearance must donate her life, according to a tale. When MASH objects, Levi discloses that 70% of Giabrand is under the power of the demon lord's armies. The sacred sword ceremony is then performed before Levi serves a feast to everyone. Ristardt, Seiya, and MASH are savoring the feast later that evening. Seiya helps Alulu as she begins to second-guess herself. According to Levi, she injected a paralytic into their meal since she thought this may happen. Seiya responds that the medicine did not work on him since he was merely pretending to eat. Levi makes the decision to confront Seiya. Seiya confronts Levi and attacks her when she won't remove Alulu's curse. She thinks she's winning until she realizes that she is about to plunge into the void. Levi makes an effort to murder Seiya while seeming to give up. He succeeds in overpowering her, nevertheless. Then Exasion shows up. When the group has left the village, Seiya tells Ristardt that the sword he has in his possession is not Exasion. A group of knights then confronts them. The group is asked to assist the Rose Guard Imperial Knights in battling the Demon Lord's armies in Olga Fortress. When they arrive, they witness Beelzebub's horde slaughtering a number of knights. After that, Rosalie Roseguard is met by the group. After that, they proceed to Olga Fortress. The council has a strategy session inside. Seiya believes that going to Divine Realm is the best course of action. Nonetheless, Rosalie approaches him violently and gets repeatedly smacked by him as he criticizes her for being too irresponsible. Seiya requests Ristardt to introduce him to a deity who can assist him in the Divine Realm. To meet Midas, the goddess of archery, she leads him to the verdant forest. Ristardt, MASH, and Alulu run across Cerseus while Seiya is training, and he informs them that Adenella is still upset with Seiya. Ariadoa promises to awaken MASH and Alulu's latent abilities in her residence. After that, Ristardt goes to Adenella's home. Adenella confronts Seiya as she attempts to warn him. She is able to cool off thanks to him, and she is no longer upset with him. It is later discovered that Midas had been observing the incident the entire time. Ariadoa demonstrates to Ristardt some of the dormant powers MASH and Alulu have awakened in her home. Ariadoa, who is alarmed upon hearing from Ristardt about Seiya's training with Midas, explains that Midas was exiled because she is a nymphomaniacal deity. When Ristardt tries to alert Seiya, they come see Midas impaled on a tree. She strikes Seiya and MASH in a lusty manner after being free. Seiya is finally able to stop her, though. The group next travels to Olga Fortress where they discover Rosalie has fled. When they go to Beelzebub's hideout, they witness him capturing Rosalie. Ristardt diverts him just in time for Seiya to fire an arrow at him as he is ready to dump her. After saving Rosalie, Beelzebub shifts his focus to Seiya. He is slain as he makes an effort to attack Seiya. Rosalie grudgingly tells Seiya about a famous set of armor in a shrine close to the town of Isil after Beelzebub's horde has been defeated. The settlement is in ruins when the group gets there. Kilkapel, one of the 4 heavenly kings, then confronts them and confesses that he destroyed the armor so that Seiya could not use it. Kilkapel explains to the group that he is aware of his lack of strength and that he must give up his life in order to use the most powerful summoning spell. When he does, cross Thanatos, the Reaper, is called. Ristardt is ordered by Seiya to send the group to the Divine Realm. Seiya tells that he has a plan once they get there. Valkyrie is painting on the temple roof when Cross Thanatos obliterates her work. After some time, she ultimately defeats it using her ultimate ability, Gate of Valhalla. Despite Valkyrie's caution over the skill, Seiya is sufficiently impressed to request that she train him. Ristardt is informed by Cerseus that Ishtar wants to meet her. Ishtar informs Ristardt at her residence that the final of the 4 heavenly kings is in command of an army. Ristardt visits Ariadoa's home the next day to find out how far MASH and Alulu's training has come. They proceed to Valkyrie's home after that. They then proceed to Giabrand where they witness Wolks Roseguard soundly beat Eraser Kaiser and his army. Wolks transforms into a toddler as Ristardt questions why Wolks won't take on the Demon Lord. The group is shocked to witness Wolks transform into a baby. The group chooses to travel to the town later. After finishing, They proceed to the castle. Rosalie informs them inside that her father won't survive for very long. Wolks learns that the Demon Lord's armies are advancing on the capital as the group is meeting with him. Mash and Ilulu go with Seiya, while Ristart stays behind to be with Wolks. Wolks discloses to Ristart as he takes her on a tour of the cathedral that the Demon Lord invented a mystical tool called Chain Destruction that has the power to extinguish the souls of gods and heroes. Additionally, he admits that he has allied himself with the Demon Lord. Seiya appears just as he is ready to destroy her. Wolks transforms into a Demonkin during the battle. The fight looks to be won by Wolks. However, Seiya deals Wolks the same amount of damage back with the counter break talent. Seiya orders Rosalie to talk to her father before he passes away after Wolks is vanquished. Seiya recovers 3 days later and permits the celebration to go on as planned. Ristart, Mash, and Ilulu are having fun while Seiya leaves on his own. Throughout the day, Ristart, Mash, and Ilulu have fun. They discover Seiya is missing when they return to their hotel room. They locate a devastated Ariadoa who leads them to Ishtar's residence. While they are on their way there, Seiya traveled to the Demon Lord's fortress by himself. According to Ishtar, she also shows that Seiya genuinely loves about them more than he lets on, despite his personality and manner. She continues by displaying video taken by Ristart 100 years earlier, when Ariadoa had already called Seiya to Exphoria. Seiya would confront foes rashly and unprepared back then. The Demon Lord looked to be dead after the party's battle with him. He did, however, admit to having 2 lives. He was able to eliminate everyone in the group as a consequence, including Seiya Princess Tiana and their unborn child. Ishtar informs Ristart that she is the reincarnation of Princess Tiana after seeing the video. Mash and Ilulu accompany Ristart when she opens a gateway to the Demon Lord's palace in order to save their comrade, despite the cautions of Ariadoa and Ishtar. Ilulu, Mash, and Ristart arrive at the Demon Lord's castle's center. Seiya, however, opens the gate of Valhalla before they can lend a hand. The consequences of the talent cause Seiya's life force to deteriorate. Ristart requests that her healing power be used to its fullest. Ristart uses all of her might to quickly treat Seiya's injuries. The Demon Lord again crashes through the doors just as they are about to rejoice. Seiya suddenly gets to his feet and summons a second gate of Valhalla, vanquishing the Demon Lord forever. Seiya then discovers who Ristart truly is and bids farewell to his friends before vanishing with a smile. Ristart is then called to be punished some time later. She is informed that if she fails to save Exphoria once more, she would lose her divinity and no longer has any divine healing abilities. Ishtar discloses that the usage of the second gate of Valhalla lifted the chain destruction's effects. As soon as Ristart reads Seiya's name, she bursts into tears of happiness when she saw his impossibly cautious personality still printed on the paper. The last number of your like is who powers you get. Comment who you got. Don't forget to subscribe for more anime recaps.